Gormagov ta foreign falcha rove a leg gaji an emak special da was tabletag and shaw and Earherval firstja anak. You're all very welcome to this important and special event here tonight in West Belfast. We welcome the representative of the Palestinian people in London, Ambassador Husam Zomlot, and he's going to be speaking later. This is also a very historic day for Irish Republicans. On this date 44 years ago, Bobby Sands was elected as an MP for Fermanagh and South Tyrone. The first Irish Republican of the current generation to stand for election. Maggie Thatcher, the British Prime Minister, said the prisoners had no support and the IRA had no support. And the people of Fermanagh and South Tyrone came out in their thousands and elected Bobby Sands and blew Thatcher's assertion completely out of the water. Well, West Belfast has a long history of solidarity with the Palestinian people and their desire to be free. And people often ask why there's so much support for the Palestinian people in Ireland and in West Belfast. And the answer is the Irish people have been through it all. Not recently as such, but they have been through genocide, they have been through famine, imprisonment, the torture and murder of prisoners, the killing of children, the stealing of land. So if there's any group of citizens on this planet who understand what the Palestinians are going through, it's the Irish people. It's part of our DNA, part of our psyche, part of who we are. So tonight here, I want to welcome our first speaker, Las Uachtaran Sinn Féin and First Minister of the Political Institutions, Michelle O'Neill.
Agus fáilte romh a lig, Alan Wasalan v Belfast Ambassador. You're very, very welcome to Belfast this evening, and thank you to each and every one of you for turning out this evening. The reason that you've all come tonight is to show your support and your unwavering solidarity with the people of Palestine as they face what is one of the most unprecedented and devastating humanitarian crises, certainly of our time. So I want to start by extending our heartfelt thanks to our special guest ambassador, Husam Zomlot, for joining us this evening. We are very, very grateful and welcome. The ambassador has been an unwavering voice for the people of Palestine, tirelessly advocating for their rights on the international stage. His dedication to promoting the cause of Palestine and his relentless pursuit of justice have made a significant impact, not just on diplomatic circles, but also in terms of wider raising the awareness of the plight of the Palestinian people. Israel's actions in Gaza and their horrific attacks against the people of the West Bank represent an egregious affront to humanity and a stark violation of international law. It's not a war. It is not a war. It's a deliberate campaign of destruction against a people, an attempt to extinguish their very existence and their rights. It is Israeli state terrorism, it is inhumanity, it is genocide, it is war. Now, the images that we see day and daily from Palestine, it's not just statistics. Those are people, their families, their loved ones, they are brothers and sisters, they are mummies and daddies, they are children. A history of these people is being erased right in front of our eyes. The relentless bombardments, the sheer scale of destruction, and the catastrophic loss of civilian life are an indictment of the failure of the international community. Now, we know international law is clear. Collective punishment of people is forbidden. We also know that yet the Palestinian people have suffered relentless oppression. They have faced relentless attempts to silence their voice and their rights. and the international community must unequivocally denounce the violence and hold Israel to account for their actions. Because to be silent is to be complicit. Silence is to share responsibility for the genocide. Inaction enables these heinous crimes and acts. So it is time to face down the bullies and the bombarding of the bombing and the starving of defenceless civilians. It's time to stand on the side of humanity. And we in Ireland will never stand quietly by while this is happening. We will never be silent to genocide. Irish people have, and I am so proud to watch Irish people time after time taken to the streets in thousands of numbers right across the whole of the country to voice their opposition to what's happening and their abhorrence at Israel's war crimes. And the people of Ireland demand a cessation of hostilities and an end to the occupation and full compliance with international law. For our part, Sinn Féin will continue to do everything we can to work to ensure the passage of the Occupied Territories Bill in the Dáil and to see that Ireland imposes meaningful sanctions on Israel. But in the face of the Israeli brutality, the resilience of the Palestinian people shines with a remarkable and an unbroken spirit. So it's our duty as human beings to be their voice, to amplify their call for justice, and to ensure that their stories echo right across the world. Their struggle is a fight for basic human rights. The right to exist, the right to live, the right to thrive, and the right to be free from fear and oppression. We must also advocate for a genuine peace process in the wider Middle East, one that addresses the actual root causes of conflict and the aspirations of the Palestinian people. This means recognising their right to statehood, to self-determination, and to live in peace and security alongside their neighbours. But as we know, genuine peace cannot be built on violence and repression. It can only be reached through dialogue, through negotiation, through mutual respect, and we know that. We know that from our own experience here in Ireland. So, Ambassador, tonight from Belfast, with one voice, we say to Israel, stop the slaughter. To leaders in the rest of the world, we say stop funding and arming the Israeli murder machine. To our Palestinian friends, we say, you are not alone. Because the bonds between Ireland and Palestine are unbreakable, and Pat referred to that earlier. Sinn Féin will continue to be a voice for you. Terence McSweeney, the Sinn Féin Lord Mayor of Cork, who died whilst in hunger strike in 1920, said, "It is not those who can inflict the most, but those that can endure the most who will conquer." His words are as applicable to the Palestinian people today as they were in 1920. So comrades, tonight, Gaza, we say, Gaza will endure. The West Bank will endure. Palestine will be free. So the next part of our evening is I am going to invite our very special guest to come to the platform, and I am hugely privileged to have the honour and to have spent some time with the Ambassador this afternoon. So please, a huge bowl of us, raise the roof again for Ambassador Husam Zomlot.
Not so sure if I'm here to give you any inspiration. I'm here to get inspiration, really, from you. What a vibe and what energy. Hello, Belfast. Hello, Irish friends. Thank you, Michelle, for the very, very kind introduction. It is a great, great honor to be with you here today. I bring with me the heartfelt greetings of the Palestinian leadership and the Palestinian people. A people who, like you, have long and proud history of struggle for justice. And like you, never, ever gave up hope for a better future. But allow me first to thank the Sinn Féin, Mary Lou, the president of the party, of course Michelle O'Neill, the first minister, and I had the privilege of visiting the Parliament House today, and Declan Carey and your team for extending this invitation. And I am really moved and touched by the presence of Jerry Adam, an icon. And by all the leaders of the movement that I grew up reading about. What an honor that I'm looking at names that we have known and got inspired by. I would like to acknowledge the presence of our guest of honor today, my very good friend, Her Excellency, our ambassador in Dublin, Dr. Gilan Wahbi. Ambassador Wahbi is lucky, very lucky, to be posted in Dublin and to bring the already historic relationship between the Irish and the Palestinian people to a new level of solidarity. So we thank you, Gilan. And also I'd like to acknowledge the presence of the leaders and the representatives of the Palestinian community in Belfast. Where are you? Can you stand, please? We are really, really proud of our community wherever they are, but particularly here in Belfast. They feel home among their own people and family, and they make us so proud. Mostly doctors, professors, professionals, and your contribution to this part of the world makes us very, very proud. And your ability to form the association of the community to help lead the movement is very well appreciated. And please coordinate with Muhammad Samani, who is the coordinator. Where's Muhammad? Muhammad, stand up, Muhammad. I want everybody to know you. Muhammad is a nas. He is a nas. And of course, allow me to also wholeheartedly thank St. Mary's University for hosting us. Thank you, St. Mary. Thank you very much. My friends, there is such a natural bond, as Michelle just said, bond between the Irish people and the Palestinian people. Bond of love, of affection, of partnership, of solidarity, of mutual and joint journey. And with people across the world that have endured the long road to freedom and justice. And my friends, as horrifying, dreadful the situation in Palestine right now is, I have hope. Yes, I have hope that our freedom and our liberation is in sight. And I have hope that the groundswell of public solidarity from across the world will help us achieve this. Friends, you have seen the horrors that Israel has committed and continues to commit over the past 18 months. And I don't need to tell you that Israel did not start its aggression a year and a half ago. Israel has enjoyed decades of impunity for its many, many crimes of terror, oppression, apartheid, and colonial occupation. And now, after the last 18 months, as its genocide was live streamed across the world, no one can pretend they did not know. No one can say they did not know. The heroism of our people in documenting their own execution is unprecedented. So everybody on the face of the earth knows what is taking place. No one can say we did not know. And I salute, and by the way, before I go there, what is happening in Gaza is a genocide. Yeah. It's a genocide. And already a year and 3 months ago, the International Court of Justice, that's the highest world court, decided to put Israel officially on trial for the plausible crime of genocide, and I'm quoting the legal ruling. So once the highest court has decided to place Israel on trial for genocide, the conversation should be over. And I wonder, for those who are refusing to use the term, what do they want? Israel has killed and maimed 200,000 people in Gaza in the last 18 months. That's 10% of the Gaza population. That's more than half of the population of Belfast. What do they want? They want 500,000 killed to call it a genocide? They want Israel to destroy not just 70% of homes, 80% of schools, 90% of hospitals, 100% of universities like this. 100%. What would qualify for a genocide? Except still what we are suffering from. Starving 2.3 million people is not a genocide? What is a genocide? What is a genocide? And those who refuse to call it a genocide is because of the level, the sheer level of dehumanization, of hypocrisy, of supremacy. Staggering, really staggering. However, my friends, I want you to know an important message, that what you have done in the last 18 months, despite the wounds, have made the Palestinian people realize they are not alone. They have been following every act you've done. And all these actions have made all the difference. Don't let anybody tell you that, all the protest movement and all the solidarity movement did not do much. It did everything. It really gave the message when the message was needed, that the Palestinian people are not forgotten, that they are equal to all other human beings, and that their fight and their struggle is legitimate. And as I speak to you today, Gaza is burning, literally burning. More than a year and a half, 18 months of mass murder, mass destruction, and mass displacement. And in the West Bank, where I was only a couple of weeks ago, violent settlers rampaging and terrorizing, literally terrorizing Palestinian villages like they did in the Nakba events of the 1947-48. 40,000 Palestinians have been displaced in the West Bank. And we all know that this is the heart and at the heart of Israel's plan to depopulate the Palestinians from the Palestinian land. We are witnessing one of the darkest chapters in our history. And I don't just mean Palestinian history, I mean in human history. More than 60,000 people have been killed in direct Israeli carpet bombing of communities, of families, including this very hour in Al-Shuja'iyya, to the east of Gaza City. 50 innocent people were instantly killed, mostly families, 8 families. Countless thousands more have succumbed because of the destruction of Gaza's health sector. The use of disease as a weapon of war, infrastructure and homes, and the denial of aid have also caused a huge amount of suffering and death. We are only counting those who were killed via airstrikes, but we are not still counting those who were killed by other means. Whole families have been erased from the civil history. Entire neighborhoods have been flattened. You all have followed the assassination of the 15 Palestinian paramedics. You all have followed the attempts to cover it up, to bury them in a shallow grave, and their cars. They only made one mistake. They buried the mobile phone of one of the paramedics with them. And then the world knew what has happened. Why would Israeli army target the paramedics and the rescue teams and the ambulances? Why? Because it's a genocide. Because once they injure and shoot people, they don't want anybody to rescue them. They must die. And famine, my friends, famine is used quite openly as a weapon of war. The 2.3 million people in Gaza, as we speak, are starving. Humanitarian aid has started for a few weeks now. And all goods delivery have stopped. This, again, is indeed a dark chapter in human history and a dent in our conscience. And yet, my friends, we endure. This is not the first time. We struggle and we hold up. We do hug our children and teach them love and perseverance. Not because we enjoy suffering, we don't. Not because we are resilient, we are. But because we know that the alternative is erasure. The alternative to steadfastness, perseverance, is erasure. Please let that sink in for a minute, because it is erasure, extermination, annihilation. That's the alternative physics. And this is not a hyperbole, my friends. Israeli officials have been quite clear about what the intent is. They're very public about it. They're not hiding it. At a minimum, this is the wholesale ethnic cleansing of Palestinians from Gaza, along with the annexation of the entire West Bank. We are being erased. Our land is being stolen. I just saw it. Stolen even at a faster rate. Our resources are robbed. Our children are being brutalized. Our homes are being destroyed. Our hostages are being tortured. And Palestinians inside Israeli detention camps are not prisoners, they're hostages. Hostages, rounded, tortured, raped, put in jail without trial, without charge, in martial laws. The conviction rate is 99%. Many of them are children. And you call that prisoners? They're not criminals. They are hostages to the Israeli oppressive regime. And I want to call from this podium, free Palestinian hostages. Free Palestinian hostages. And all of this is very well documented, not by us, by the UN, by numerous international human rights organizations. And yet, it is being met with a wall of official silence, inaction by governments and world powers. And silence, my friends, in this instance, is complicit. Silence is complicit. As a hero of our age and time, the late Bishop Desmond Tutu once said, of South Africa, of course, if you are neutral in situations of injustice, you have chosen the side of the oppressor. You have chosen the side of the oppressor. But we also know that we are not alone. We do know we are not alone. We have shown, you have shown the world that principled solidarity, how it looks like. My friends, you have. And we have been following what you're doing and what you're saying. Ireland, along with Spain, Norway, South Africa, and many others have turned to the legal instruments available to them to recognize the state of Palestine and demand accountability. So please, a big round of applause to Ireland, Spain, Norway.
South Africa.
And many other countries at the International Court of Justice and at the International Criminal Court, at the UN General Assembly. Those are options open to all countries, and South Africa have shown the world how to be a responsible state and a state actor. At a time when many have looked away, the Irish people have stood tall, tall. Your voices have echoed across the world, calling for justice, calling for accountability, calling for peace, a real peace, built on justice, freedom and equality, not an absence of conflict, built on silence and subjugation. You understand what real peace means. You have spoken truth to power, even when it was inconvenient. You have set an example, as did many other leaders. And that's why we must recognize those leaders and those countries that have stood by the side of humanity, by the side of international law. And my friends, you have marched with us, literally, stood with us, and raised our flag, the flag of Palestine, when others tried to tear it down. And I was just driving by the streets of Belfast. Everywhere you go, the flag of Palestine is flying high and proud. And the murals on Belfast, all the way to the streets of London and Dublin, your support has never wavered. For that, we are eternally grateful. We do not ask for empathy. We don't. We ask for solidarity. It's one struggle. Our rights is your rights. Our future is yours. The moment we forgo an ounce of our right, we have forgone your rights. Because rights cannot be subdivided. And we ask for justice. What we face is not a clash of religions or civilizations. Religions are innocent of this. It is the deliberate disposition of an entire people for the benefit of another. It is not a fight between right and left of politics. It is not a fight between right and left. It is a fight between right and wrong. Right and wrong. Ours is a struggle against apartheid. Ours is a struggle against ethnic cleansing, against genocide. And it must be named as such. It is a struggle against genocide, against supremacy, racism, against discrimination, against oppression and subjugation, against collective punishment. And just like in South Africa, this system of supremacy, racism, segregation can and will be dismantled. But friends, solidarity must be more than symbolic, must be active, must be political. We demand sanctions. We demand sanctions. All illegal settlements must be sanctioned. All organizations that support these colonial settlements must be sanctioned. The state that sponsors these illegal settlements must be sanctioned. And this isn't a demand, this is an obligation. It is an obligation on every state, a contracting party of the international system. It is an obligation of the UK government, it is an obligation of the Irish government, it is an obligation on all to ban trade with these illegal entities. Also an obligation is an arms embargo. Arms embargo now. And legal accountability for war criminals. We want to see war criminals, not in New York, shredding the UN Charter, not in London or Dublin. We want to see them in The Hague, behind bars. And to date, my friends, Israel has not only been shielded from accountability for its crimes, but actively supported through financial, political, and material support by some governments. In contradiction, in violation of the recent opinion of the International Court of Justice that clearly stated that Israel's presence in occupied territory is unlawful, that all of its settlement presence is unlawful and must be dismantled, and any third party must cease immediately any political, legal, or material support to all these illegal practices. So every government that still provides any support to Israel is in breach of the highest world's court order. And this will be remembered as a political stain on the conscience of all those that could have done something different but chose not to. And therefore, my friends, we need to help enforce a ceasefire. And you have seen, since Israel has broken the last ceasefire agreement, how the situation has evolved into mass murder. We need to use all of our effort to enforce that, and we must say it and say it loud. Palestine is not a real estate deal. And Gaza is not for sale. And yes, we agree on one thing, Gaza is gorgeous. I was born in Gaza, so did Jilan. Gaza is gorgeous and beautiful, but it belongs to us. No one loves Gaza more than its people, and no one will defend Gaza more than the Palestinian people, both in Jerusalem, in Jenin, in Tulkarem, and all of us. All of us. And with us the region, the Arab world, and with us the rest of the international community. We will rebuild Gaza. We cannot build it more beautiful, because I have to say say Gaza was beautiful. But we will build more homes, more schools, more hospitals, more universities. And we will reunite Gaza with the West Bank. And we will start the actual last push towards the real goal, which is liberation, which is ending of this occupation, which is the root cause of all this, my friends. Nelson Mandela once said, sometimes it falls upon a generation to be great. We can be that generation, my friends. We can be that generation. And there are many lessons to be learned from your political history and struggle. The Good Friday Agreement shows that another way is possible, so long as there is willingness, good faith, and commitment to peace, to justice, equality, rooted in the rule of law. Let us join forces to form a global movement that refuses to normalize oppression. Refuses to normalize oppression. Let us together try to build a future where no child grow under drone surveillance, behind checkpoints, or in exile. We do not want revenge. We do not want the revenge. We want accountability. Accountability. We want liberation, self-determination, return to our homes and farms, and peace. Yes, we do want peace. Not as a prize handed down by our occupier, our colonizer, our oppressor, but as a right reclaimed by our people. This is not a gift, not a gift, not a favor. We will reclaim our rights, our land. Long it is. We do struggle for a better future, but not only that. We struggle also because we love what is behind us. What is behind us? We do not struggle because we do not struggle because we hate what is in front of us only. We do not struggle because we hate what is in front of us only. And there is a lot of issues in front of us. But we struggle because of our love to what is behind us. We love our land. We love our land. We love our people. We love our heritage, our history, our culture, our language, our poetry, our children. We love life. And there is another love we have. We love you. We love you and the many millions of people like you who have been there.
We love Palestine.
And as Bobby Sands say, our revenge will be the laughter of our children. So, my Irish brothers and sisters, your journey has inspired generations of Palestinians. Your peace process, imperfect but persistent, has taught us that even the deepest wounds can begin to heal. Your solidarity reminds us that we are not forgotten, and your journey forward together will not be one as victims. Our journey together will not be as victims, but as vectors. This is not a movement for the oppressed and our allies, but a movement of equal partners in the same fight for justice and freedom, and we shall be free. And I am going to try to say this in a proper way. Sirasha don Palestine. What a beautiful world Sirasha is, and Palestine is. So free Palestine, and thank you very much.